Well, hey neighbors, I decided to come on here early today. I got dressed, ready to go. So I see that Claudette says, "I'm sorry I can't be there today. A birthday party all day. Have a good chat, good live chat, my twin." Thank you, Claudette. You know I love you, and I'm sorry you can't be here. I'm gonna miss you. Anyway, I'm going live a little bit early. Hey Joe, how are you? There's Joe Mouse, sweetest lady. Joe has auctions, y'all know. I think Joe would be fun to hang out with. She's smiling and laughing, and she's always in a good mood. Which Joe, I don't know if she's past her kidney stone or not, but those things are not fun. Those things are very painful. So glad you're here today, Joe. Hopefully, more people will come in. I hope so. But if not, we're going to be right here talking and sharing and hanging out for a little while. Oh, you passed it. Oh, that's good. That probably felt like giving birth. Hey, Clarissa. How are you, sweetheart? Are you doing okay? Well, we go and get Berkeley tomorrow. Oh my goodness, there's Peaky Nikki. Welcome in, Peaky Nikki. How are you? Y'all know that Peaky Nikki has auctions also, and she's the cutest thing, if I can say that. Uh and the sweetest. She is a motivator. She keeps people motivated and told keep going, keep going. She's an encourager. But anyway, she's on a lot of different channels. I met Nikki on Ella's, and I had no idea that she was oh, I know it, Nikki. I had no idea that Nikki was on other channels. I thought she was just on Ella's. And then once I got to know about Nikki, I realized that she's on all these other different places. And she's a sweetheart. Yeah, Nikki doesn't get to come to my lives very often or catch my videos. That lady is so busy, which everybody that I'm around is busier than I am. Uh, because I'm around the auction people and they just having auctions all the time. I don't know how they do it. Oh, you're welcome, Clarissa. But go over there and visit Nikki, which I know everybody in here knows Nikki and knows Joe. And if you don't, just leave right now and go over to their channel. Would you look at here? The heifer done made it into the house. The heifer done made it into the house. There's my heifer, Tracy Cakes. Woo! Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Tracy. Love you, heifer. And there's nothing you can do about it. I don't know. Tracy's another one that does auctions. I just hang around the auction people. I tell you what, I don't know what that's about. Maybe I have an addiction to auctions. I don't know, but they're really good. Like Tracy, their giveaway is this Sunday, I think. Or they're doing a something for abused children and children that has autism. If Tracy could put it in the link or something, I mean put her link down in the chat, y'all are missing. If y'all don't go over there and check that out, y'all are missing it. Now, we will have Berkeley. We go pick her up tomorrow, so we'll have her Sunday. So my Sunday is like this when it comes to that baby. I do stay busy, but I'm trying to cut back a little. And oh yeah, everybody needs a balance, Nikki. Everybody needs a balance, honey. You get unbalanced, and then you get the shape I'm in. Everybody's speaking. Hey, Dale, how are you? There's Blingy Dale. Isn't that a name? Don't you just love that? Blingy Dale. Blingy Dale. Oh, how's y'all's weather? Ours is really nice. It's gonna be in the 80s. There's my friend Lori. She hadn't been able to be here with me the last few times. I'm glad she's here. My beautiful friend Lori. So, what do y'all have planned to do the rest of the weekend this weekend? Y'all, I have Lincoln on Monday and Tuesdays, and I don't know what I'm gonna do when that little fella starts sitting up crawling. I don't know what I'm gonna do with him. He is moving, and I mean, just he wears me out. By the time Taylor comes to pick him up in the afternoon, and I finally go to sleep at night, you could do major surgery on me because he is just, and I love it. I wouldn't take anything for it. I'm not complaining about it. But a 4-month old baby can wear you out. I see why people have babies when they're young. Oh, Nikki's having the 80s. Let me see what let me see what the weather is here. It's 77 degrees here. It's supposed to be a high of 78, 79 tomorrow. It's not supposed to rain until Saturday. A very slight chance of rain. But anyway, Mr. It's Me is working nights. This is his last night to work, and then we'll go get Berkeley tomorrow. She was going to stay till um, next Tuesday, but James has on call that day or overtime. Plus, her little dance class is her last class for the year, and she has to go and parents show up and they get an award and all this stuff. So Matt and Haley didn't want her to miss that, so she's got to go back early. Oh, it's gonna rain where Lori is. There it is. There it is. Awareness Month. Be a voice for those who don't and can't. Our focus is on creating awareness, and prizes are kid focused. A Nintendo Switch and 2 bikes, and of course, cash prize of one is 500. See, y'all got to go over there and get to know these heifers. These heifers are amazing. My three sisters are coming. We will be silly Friday, and then we'll and nephew wedding. Oh, that'll be fun hanging out with your sisters, Joe. I'd like to be a fly on the wall when that happened. Are they anything like you? Do they have your personality, or you're the only one that has that your type of personality? Don't forget to give me one of these. I'm going to be doing my neighborhood chat video before Berkeley gets here tomorrow, so I'll do it this afternoon. My last neighborhood chat video got over 700 views. Yes, I could not believe it. 700 views. I'm so excited. Freeside, welcome in. The 48. Well, welcome in, the 48. I don't think I've ever seen you here. Welcome in. Destination Fun. Oh, that does sound like a fun name. Y'all, I'm ready to go on vacation. James and I are going out of town for our anniversary and my birthday next month. Y'all, I'll be turning 57 years old next month. 57. Yes, 57. And then on May the 16th, I'll be married 37 years. And on May the 17th, I'm going to turn 57. 57. Look, I don't know if y'all feel this way or not, but when I was younger and I saw my grandmother at 57, she wore these little old house dresses with her hair in a bun, no makeup, house shoes. Now, don't get me wrong. I love my grandmother and she was a beautiful lady. But grandmothers today do not dress like they did when my grandmother was 57. Not that I'm complaining about it because I don't have any intentions of putting my hair in a bun, no makeup, and a house dress. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. That's just not who I am. But I cannot believe I'm 3 years from the big 60. Yes, 60. I'm just saying, thank the Lord I made it because I wasn't even supposed to make it over 7 years. And that was 8 years ago. Hey, Pamela, how are you? Welcome in. I hope I said welcome in, Destination Fun. But I'm going to have a birthday celebration on my channel. It's probably going to be the week before my birthday. And I'm going to do some giveaways and we're going to have some games and we're just going to have a good time for my birthday. Um, since I will not be here for my birthday, I'll do it days before we leave. But anyway, we're going to the coast and we're going to spend the 17th, 18th, and 19th on the coast. Probably come home the 20th. I have to come back to keep Lincoln. So, so I can't stay. Now, if we win 200,000, 2 million, I'll just call Taylor and say, baby, don't go into work. Mama's got you covered. Don't worry about it. But that's probably not going to happen. But it'll be fun trying to win it. Don't forget they're going to have another heifer joining them. Oh yes, Lisa's new adventure is joining the heifers on Tuesdays now. I want to tell y'all something. I must be losing it, like cuckoo losing it. Because I mailed out. Okay, first of all, I was sick that week. I must have been delirious because I mailed Gina's gift to Lisa, part of it or all of it. I don't even know. It took me a while to get the energy to even mail out the two giveaways that I had. I hope the virus has not been going around y'all's house. It was awful here. We are all different, but we're all kind and fun. Oh, I bet y'all are. I bet you. I have two sisters, and we're nothing alike, which we all have different dads too. Okay? We have the same mom, but different dads. Yeah, we do. Timmy, Twisted Zones. Hi, Angie. Drop my thumb sharing you out of. Oh, well, thank you. Oh, you're going to be 61 in August? Yeah, 60s and 50s do not look like they did when my grandmother was in her 50s and 60s. At least I don't think they do. When I look in the mirror, I don't look at myself as almost 60. Now, I could be deceived. You know how you can look at something and other people see it differently? Now, I'm sure if I lost some of this facial fat that I would wrinkle more. I'm sure I would. My birthday is next month. I'll be 24. Oh, you have the same month as I do, May. I don't know where that came from. Nikki, you're so funny. John calls Lisa the alligator, so he changed it to the heifer tater. John picks at her so much, Nikki. I'm telling you, they go back and forth. Which, if you don't know Mr. Picky, he is Nikki's husband, and he picks and jokes with different people in the chats. Lori said, I'll be 63 in December. You go, Lori. I was just trying to math in my head because I forget if I'm 42. That's funny that you say that, Nikki, because I have to stop and think about that for me. And if I didn't have a birthday coming up, I'd probably get it wrong. But even with my children, because I have to say to myself, okay, how old is Matt? And I have to stop and think about it. Matt, my son, is 33, and they're expecting their second child. Haley will be 33. This is his wife, Haley, will be 33 April the 30th. And they're expecting their second child October the 16th. We don't know if they're having a boy or a girl. They won't find out for about 7 more weeks if it's going to be a boy or a girl. So we're going to be out. One of them's going to be outnumbered because we have a boy and a girl grandchild. We have a grandson and a granddaughter. Well, now they're having another one. So one of them's going to be outnumbered. Either we're going to have 2 granddaughters or 2 grandsons. I don't know what it's going to be. But whatever it is, bring it on. I'm just saying, have more, have more. They love to rib each other. Yeah, he does. There's Nana Tink. Hey, Nana. Now Nana's a sweetheart. She has auctions. There I go again. Y'all, I'm in the auction community and I don't even have auctions. I'm telling you, I go to every one of these auctions. I do. I am telling you, Nana's, Nikki's, Ella's, Lisa's, Tracy's, Dawn's channel, Josie, D. I'm telling you, I go and you should see the boxes that come to my house. I am not kidding. The boxes are crazy. Hey, Crafty Songbird, how are you doing? So good to see you. Now, there's a sweetheart. Now, Crafty has been on with Lisa's New Adventure, and she does crafting. She's a sweetie. My son will be 38 in June. Well, my daughter's. All right, now hold on a minute. Here I go. All right, let's see. She was born in 95. So in 2025, she'll be 30. So she'll be 29 in June. She'll be 29 in June. And Matt is 33. Y'all, I'm not supposed to be old enough to have a son that's 33 years old. I can remember when I was 33 years old. What is that about? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just glad I had my children at kind of a young age. I mean, I had my children when I was in my 20s. I told Matt and Haley if they didn't hurry up and have another one, their clock was just going to pass them by. I mean, Haley, like I said, she'll be 33 the end of this month. I didn't want to have children after I was 30. I did not. I had Taylor when I was 27, and I told James, I said, if I get to 30 and I haven't had the second child, there's not going to be a second child. I didn't want to have a child after 30. That was back in the 90s. But now they do it different. You know, women are having babies in their 40s and they're thinking nothing about it. I would hate to even fathom thinking about having a baby in my 40s. Oh, Nikki, you're gonna be a wonderful Nana or Gigi or Yaya or whatever your grandbabies decide to call you. And at the point that I'm at, I don't care what they call me. I wanted to be a Yaya, but I ended up being a Gigi, which I don't mind. Gigi's fine. When is the baby due? It would be funny if the baby was born on your son. On your son. No, this baby's due in October, and that's the first thing when Matt announced it at Easter. We were taking a picture. Everybody that was here was in this picture. We had the timer set for it to go off, and we were counting down 10, 9, 8. We got down to 1, and instead of Matt saying smile, he said, and Haley's pregnant. And we all just went and just froze in that picture. And I said, if he is making this up, I am going to get his hiney. That's not really what I said. I said, I'm going to kill him if he's making this up. But anyway, I said, please tell me this is true and it's not due in December, please. But she was already 10 weeks pregnant before they told us. And I want y'all to know that Berkeley knew it. Berkeley knew that she was going to have a little brother or a sister. She had went to the doctor's appointments with Haley and Matt and had not even told us. She was here a month ago, and we kept telling her, you need a little brother or a sister. And she never once said, oh, my mama's going to have a little baby. They asked Berkeley not to say anything. And do you know that baby didn't say anything? Nikki said, I had mine at 19 and 26. Wow, Nikki. 19. I got married when I was 19, turned 20 the next day. Our oldest son turns 50 this year. How is that possible? Oh, I was 10 when I had him. It is crazy. How is that even possible? And I don't know if y'all feel this way, but when I look at my children, I still see them as young. Now, my son is 33 years old on his second child. And when I look at him, now don't get me wrong, I respect him and I treat him like an adult, and my daughter also. But when I look at them, they're still tiny little people. I don't know if y'all do that or not. Hey, Yankee Cow, welcome in. I saw that you were live. I was getting dressed and getting ready for my live and couldn't drop in. I'm going to make it over there one of these days. Welcome in, Yankee Cow. Hey, Lavita, welcome in, sweetie. I had my first son, which I lost at 23, and my son Jimmy when I was 24. I know, Nana. They just, I look at my daughter now and she's with Lincoln, and I just think she's still a child. And she'll be 29 years old in June. 29. Heck, my boys are my babies, even though they're 15 and 22. And so, I know, Nikki, how is that even possible? We look at them like, now, like I said, I respect my son and my daughter, and I treat them like adults. But if somebody does something to them or hurts them in some way, this mama bear just wants to take care of it. And oh my goodness, I would not want anybody to try to do anything to my grandbabies. That would just be awful on their part. I mean, even though I'm still in a wheelchair, that doesn't mean that this doesn't work. Because I would give them a piece of my mind, and then I would tell James, okay, get them. You know. But, oh, Yankee Cow's going to be 36 in October. Oh my goodness. 30s were good to me. My 30s were awesome. My 30s were amazing. My 40s is when I started getting sick. My 50s has been nothing but illness. But I'm still happy to be here. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to be alive. Levita has lots of grandchildren and great grandchildren. I don't know if I'll live to see great grandchildren. I don't know. And I'm fine with that. Uh, I just wanted to see grandbabies. I'm good with grandbabies. Everybody kept telling me, oh, you just wait till you have grandbabies. You don't even know what it's like till you have grandbabies. And I'm thinking, I love my children. How can I feel more for my, and it's really that you don't feel more for your grandchildren. It's just you're not responsible for them. You know, the old saying is if you spoil your children, you're gonna raise your grandchildren. And obviously my children wasn't spoiled because they're actually raising their children. But the old saying is if you spoil your children, you'll raise your grandchildren. So don't spoil your children so you can enjoy, you'll get to spoil your grandchildren if you don't spoil your children. Oh, Nana, my nephew's is October the 31st. My sister's son, Michael, his birthday's October the 31st. When it comes to my boys, I will go sweet little Nikki to Karen in a half a second. Oh, yeah, I know. I know. And both of mine are married with children. And I'm thinking, oh, no, no, you're not gonna treat my child like that. No. Which I feel like this. You can do anything to me that you want to do. You can say anything about me you want to say. You can talk about me. You can be ugly to me, but do not talk about my child. My oldest daughter is 54 and my baby son is 41. And they're all, yes. Hey, Lucinda, how are you doing? Welcome in. Well, I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I don't even try to make an excuse for my mama bear. You know, I don't even try to justify it. Some people would say, oh, you don't need to be that way. Your children are adults, they can take care of themselves. I don't care. It's just in me when something happens to try to handle it, especially if I think somebody's purposely hurting my child. Lori, that's what I always say. If you knew being a grandparent was the awesome, I would have them first. Heck, with the kids, yeah. When we get Berkeley, this is what will happen when we get Berkeley tomorrow. Oh, that's nice, Yankee Cow. I'm excited. James will come in. He'll get a nap. He'll sleep 3 to 4 hours. Then we'll get up. We'll go get Berkeley. Of course, we have to stop back by this place we love to eat, and we will eat. And she will. And it's so funny because Matt, Matt and Haley are really sticklers about eating healthy. Really sticklers. And when she goes with us, where we eat is a buffet. So when we go there, we'll just walk her right down the buffet line. She'll have her little plate and she'll just point at something. We're like, yeah, you can have it. And she looks at us like, really? And yeah, you can have it. Whatever you want. Just get what you want. So she fixes her little plate. She carries it back when we help her. Then, they have the dessert area. And we tell her, you got to eat a little bit and then you can have dessert. Well, she thinks she's getting one dessert, okay? And James will take her up there to the desserts, or I will, and we'll say, okay, get it. And she'll grab one thing and we'll say, is that all you want, baby? And she'll look like, wait a minute, I have other options. I can choose more than one. Now, here's the deal. Only grandparents can do that because I would not want her eating sweets like that every day if I was her parent. But see, I got to know what my role is. My role is the grandparent. So I have a little more leeway than the parent because I have no responsibility except to keep her alive while I have her. You understand what I'm saying? So we kind of give her a little leeway on, kind of spoiling her a little bit when she's here. Thank you, Nana, for subbing to him. Oh, believe me, I have to bite my tongue a lot with my daughter-in-law. I don't like the way she treats my son. I can honestly say, and I don't know how y'all feel about this, but before my children were out of college, I prayed, well, even probably before then, that I would be a great mother-in-law. I wanted to be a good mother-in-law. Uh, I have a great relationship with my daughter-in-law, and I have a great relationship with my son-in-law. I don't try to interfere with their marriage. I don't try to tell them how to raise Berkeley or Lincoln. If they come to me for advice, I give it. But if they don't, I'm just like, okay, no one told me I didn't want anybody telling me how to raise you or Matt or vice versa. So I don't want to do that to you. And of course, what people don't understand, and I don't know if y'all know this, but when two people are married and the parent tries to come in, okay, let's just say it what it is. Why would I want to interfere with Matt and Haley's relationship when he's sleeping with her? That's comparing apples to oranges. His relationship with me is totally different than his relationship with his wife. I should not even be in that scenario, you know? So I just kind of stay out of that. Whatever Matt wants to tell me, he shares, and if he don't, he don't. I don't pry, and I don't pry in Taylor's. Um, Hello, little Piney, but I've always wanted to be a good mother-in-law. Yeah, I'm gonna spoil my like these auctions. I'll see something that I think Berkeley will like, and I'm like, okay, I got to get that. I've got things in my closet now that I'm thinking I can save that for Christmas, or this summer she'll need that, or at Christmas time I didn't realize what all I had bought for Lincoln and Berkeley from auctions, And I would just go in my closet and say, no, I'm going to wait to give them that because they've already got plenty. But that's what I've always wanted to do, was to have grandbabies and take them on trips and buy them things and spend time with them. And every time I see Berkeley, it's like I've never seen her before, and I just want to just love on her and hug her, and she feels that, and that's what I want her to feel. Because when I'm not here anymore, I want her to look back and say, every time I saw my Gigi, she was so excited about seeing me. Because I always say, "Oh, Berkeley, it's so good to see you. I'm so happy to see you, baby. Come here." And I'll just hug her and love on her and tell her how beautiful she is and how smart she is. And, I want her to remember that about me when I'm no longer here, that's what I did. I don't want her to see me as a grouch and always ugly and mean and correcting her and being nasty. And I don't want her to see me that way. Now, I have that side? Of course. But I don't want her to see that. There's Anitra. Hi, Anitra. How are you? Welcome in. Anitra has a granddaughter too. Beautiful granddaughter. We're talking about grandbabies. My daughter-in-law tells everyone that I'm a great mother-in-law, and she does check on me a lot, but the way she treats my son gets under my last nerve. My son tells me everything. I bite my tongue. I love seeing the cute it felt Easter basket that you bought from me, seeing it on your table. Baby, yeah, Nana, she loved that. She absolutely loved that little basket with those little eggs in it that were so hard to get open, but we got them open. Oh, little Piney, thank you. I know it's Lisa. I know it is. Let's give Lisa a shout out. Thank you for the super chat.
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 Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
I love you.
I love you.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Nothing you can do about it.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.
Oh. No, I didn't see that. I missed that. What? How many? Tell me again. I'm good, but on Wednesdays, yes, on Mondays and Tuesdays, I have Baby Lincoln. That's what Berkeley calls him. Baby Lincoln. Oh, I want to see Baby Lincoln. Um, so I have Baby Lincoln on Monday and Tuesdays. Well, Wednesdays, oh my goodness, I'm just recuperating. I'm telling y'all, I do not see how, and I don't know if it has something to do with my illness or what, but I just get really, really tired. But I just keep going because I'm going to keep that baby as long as I can, and I am going to have him with me as long as I can. My granny was a hoot and my best friend, partner, and fun. Yeah, I was my grandmother's favorite grandchild. Now I'm looking back with me having grandchildren, and I'm thinking, how do you have a favorite? But she didn't care if people knew that she favored me more than the other 11. She had 12. My grandmother had 12 grandchildren, and one of her children never had children. One of my aunts had 6 children. My mom had 4. My other aunt had 2, and then my uncle didn't have any children. So she potentially could have had more than 12. But my uncle, the lady he married, was like 10 or 12 years older than him, and she had already had children, and she didn't want to have any children after they got married, so he never had children. Yes, I have a very intelligent granddaughter who is 8 and loves to use big words and knows what they mean. I know they come here so smart. Berkeley is so smart, and that little girl can keep a secret. She kept that secret of going to the doctor with her mom and dad about having another baby and never said anything to us when she came last month or the month before Easter, they had asked Berkeley not to say anything to anybody about it. And that she did not say anything. And we kept saying, Berkeley, you need to tell your mom and daddy you need a little brother or sister. She never said, oh, my mama's already going to have a baby, or she never said it. Never mentioned it. That little thing can keep a secret. Oh, I know. Big words. I know. You're welcome, Nana. I'm glad. 28 grandchildren and 31 great. Oh my gosh. How do you keep up with that many? I mean, when Matt announced that Haley was going to have another baby, I just teared up. I was just so happy. Um, which unless they have like a oops, this is going to be it for them. They're only going to have two, they think, unless it's a uh-oh, we didn't mean to do that. Now Taylor, she'll have another one, you know, but I think they'll both stop at two. But I'm good with 4 grandbabies. I'm good. I would have been good with 2. I mean, whatever the Lord wanted to give me, I would have been happy with. NDT Collects. Hello, how are you? Welcome in. Well, hey, the NDT show. Y'all need to check out the NDT show. Thank you for dropping by. Yeah, Anitra, we're having another grandbaby due October the 16th. We don't know if it's a boy or a girl. Don't know. She doesn't find out for 7 more weeks. Have y'all heard of this? I'm kind of behind on the newfangled stuff. But now when you have your second child and you do baby showers, it's called a sprinkle instead of a shower. Have y'all heard that? It's called a sprinkle. I didn't know that. And I don't know if they'll do a reveal with the second baby. If they do, I think they should only like cut a cake and let the inside be blue or pink. You know, don't do anything extravagant. But if they want to do something extravagant, I'm gonna be right there rooting them on. You know. But I've seen some real cute baby reveals on different platforms that are real, not extravagant but cute. I've seen a good many. Good gravy. I watched this YouTube channel from Alapatcha, and there's this one little woman that had 16. Oh my goodness. Was she wanting a daughter? Is that why she had so many? That's one thing I never did. And I don't judge people for this right here. Now, I've known people to say, I want a boy or I want a girl. And they would have 3 girls. And they would get pregnant again to see if they would have a boy. I don't judge that. But when I was having children, I told James, I said, if we get 2 boys, we get 2 boys. If we get 2 girls, we get 2 girls. I mean, I don't have babies to have one sex or the other. I have babies so I can love them and I can afford them. You know, we figured we could give 2 children more than we could give 3 children. You know, we didn't want to, and I didn't want to have a middle child. I know that sounds so crazy, but I'm a middle child. James is a middle child. And I just didn't want to have a middle child. I look back on that now and think, that is the craziest thing. But I mean, at the time, I meant it. I did not want to have a middle child. There is a such thing as middle child syndrome. Y'all do realize that. If you're a middle child, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I didn't want to have a middle child. So that's why I said, I know I'm not having 4. So I'm going to stick with 2. Whether it be 2 boys or 2 girls. And luckily, we had a boy and a girl. And Matt and Taylor are very close. They text and call each other. When they see each other, they hug each other. Matt played with Lincoln so much, and Berkeley is like Taylor's. When Berkeley is with Taylor and Matt's not around, they think that Berkeley belongs to Taylor because she looks so much like Taylor. And I always wanted my children to be close. You know, they're 4.5 years apart, but when I say close, I mean like call each other, have a good relationship. I didn't want them not to have. I didn't want them to be at odds with each other. Some of these families, you see these siblings, all they do is argue and fuss and fight. I did not want that with my children. I wanted them to be close. 16. My granny was one of 12. Wow. One of my grandmother's sisters had 10, which she had a set of twins, girls, but they were fraternal twins. Now, fraternal twins run in our family. We have several sets of fraternal twins. We don't have identical twins. We have fraternals. I would love to have 4, but my daughter says she's one and done, and my baby daughter is 25 and she doesn't know if she wants kids yet. I would say you would probably gonna get another one, Anitra. I would say you probably are gonna get another one. Just had a great granddaughter Tuesday morning. Oh my goodness. Awesome. I will only have 2 grandchildren, and I'm blessed with that. I do have raised grandchildren. They call me grandma. Oh, you hadn't heard that? Well, Haley and Taylor informed me of that when we were talking at Easter. Taylor said, "Are you going to have a sprinkle?" And I'm like, "What is a sprinkle?" And Haley was just talking to her, "Oh, I don't know. I hadn't decided yet." And I was trying to figure out what a sprinkle was. I said, "Wait a minute. What are y'all talking about, a sprinkle?" Well, that's what they call a shower after you have one child. You have a shower for the second child. It's called a sprinkle. Who knew? And like I said, I don't know what they call the baby reveal on the second child. I don't know what they call that. But they have names for everything. I don't know. Now I'm waiting for our great grandchildren. There you go. There you go, Lori. Hey, Leon, welcome in. And of course, they had their first baby reveal here, Haley and Matt. And I said, "You're welcome to have it here again." Taylor and Brent had their baby reveal here. I said, "You're more than welcome to have another one here. It doesn't matter, just whatever." Back then, I think they were just popping out farm hands. Yeah. Yeah, that's what my grandmother said about her sister that had the 10. She said every time that her husband put his pants up on the bed post, she got pregnant. That she just stayed pregnant. But 10 children. I can't even imagine. Right, Angie? I always knew I wanted 2 kids, and that's exactly what I have. Lori, me too. Our granddaughter is getting married next year, and they want kids right away. So I pray that happens. I am a great, oh, Nana, that's exciting. You'll have a great grandbaby. Oh, you'll have to let us know how that feels. And you can spend time with them better. Yes. Oh, Anitra, are you a middle child too? Then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yes. Middle child syndrome. I'm telling you, I have it. I'm not going to deny it. I have it. I work on it. I worked on it for quite a few years. I think I've gotten better. But middle children are leaders, hard-headed, good communicators, good problem solvers. I'm the child I never had. Lori said, "I'm a middle child." You know, with the middle child, you have the oldest, and they're like, oh, they're the oldest. They take care of the other ones. They have a lot of responsibility. Then you have the middle child. Then you have a baby. Well, where does that leave that middle child? Because the middle child's not the oldest, where it's taking the responsibility. It's not the youngest, where they get, oh, it's the baby and all this. They're stuck in the middle trying to, get attention any way they can. Uh, I'm the youngest out of three. Wow, Leon, baby of three. After I had Nick, the doctor said I couldn't have any more, so Colin is my miracle baby. Him and Nick fought when they were younger because of the age gap, but they are literally best friends now. I know, does that not make your heart feel good? I love that. I don't know how many years apart Nikki's babies are, but I was telling Haley and Matt before she got pregnant this last time, I said, look, there's a lot of difficulty when you separate kids like 5 and 6 years. Matt and Taylor are 4.5 years apart. So when he was going into college, she was going into high school. When he was coming out of college, she was going in. So we wasn't having to pay college for two children, which my children went on scholarship because we didn't have a lot of money to send them to the universities that they wanted to go to. So we kept pushing, you got to get scholarships, and grades are important. Now my daughter, she made the grades, and also she got offered a fast pitch softball scholarship that she could have went to a college and played fast pitch softball, but she didn't want to do it. It devastated her daddy. He was broke down for weeks, and it didn't bother me because I was like, it's her decision. If she don't want to go play and she's tired of playing ball, just let her go to college. And if she regrets it, it'll be her regret. But oh my goodness, he was devastated that Taylor did not go on and play college ball. He was devastated. But like I said, I just wanted her to get a good education, and because I always told her, I do not want you to have to depend on a man for your livelihood. I want you to be able to take care of yourself in case something happens. You never know, Hey, Gladys. How are you? Welcome in. Yeah, congratulations, Levita. Her parents were immigrants from Norway. I know, that is a blessing. They told, the doctors told Taylor, my daughter, that she would never have children. And I kept telling her, stop listening to them, Taylor. If you're having relationships with your husband, there's always a chance, that you are going to get pregnant unless you have nothing down there, And she just was listening to the doctors before she listened to Mama, because Mama doesn't have her MD. But of course, I said, if the Lord wants you to have a baby, you're going to have a baby. And she was just like, okay, Mama. Okay. I said, Taylor, I believe in my heart you will have a baby. Okay, Mama, you're just saying that. She thought I was just saying it because I was Mama and wanted her to feel better, And we have Lincoln now. It'd be nice to have a grandson. Yeah. I know it does, Nikki. When I see my two children together, like at Easter and like we back at Thanksgiving, and they're just sitting over somewhere talking to each other and laughing, and they hug each other when they see each other and all that, that just makes my heart feel so good. Because a lot of times there are children that are jealous of each other, and they're at odds with each other, and they don't want to show up at the parents' house because one of the siblings is going to be there. Oh, I'm not going. So-and-so's going to be there. I'm so glad that we don't have that to deal with. Family members don't have anything to do with me. Oh, I'm sorry, Leon. My ex-mother-in-law birthed 15 children, no children. Oh, 15 single births. And y'all don't get me wrong, I was born to have babies. Now, I could have had them with no problem because I had Matt 3.5 hours. I mean, I could have them. But let me tell you something. It's a difference in having them and raising them. Oh my goodness. The thought of the total responsibility of 15 children. How do you go to sleep at night? I couldn't hardly sleep thinking about responsible for two, much less 15. I can't even imagine. Bye, Nana. Love you. See you at the auction. Two sisters and me. Yes, it's hard work, but yes, it is. Oh, yours are 7 years apart. Seven. Well, when your baby gets 20, your oldest will be 27. They'll meet up. I mean, they'll get to where they're right there, and then when they're in their 20s, oh, they'll be fine, Nikki. They're close. You already said that. They'll be fine. I know. I can't even imagine. We laugh now because Taylor and Brent talk about not having enough sleep, and James and I just look at each other like they don't have a clue. They're never going to sleep again the rest of their life. I mean, even that my children are 33 and 20, almost 29, I still stay up at night sometimes thinking about and praying for them and wanting them to be well. You know, so you never sleep again once you have a child. They could not take any birth control. It gave her heart problems, and her husband would not let her get her tubes tied. Oh my goodness. It was so funny. I don't think James would mind me sharing this with y'all, but we're all adults here. But when after we had Taylor, she had all of her complications. She has hydrocephalus. She had to have a shunt, all that stuff. They found it on my sonogram when I was 9 months pregnant with her. They had to do an emergency C-section and all that. Well, they said we're not going to let you see your baby because she may be disfigured, and we a lot of times the mothers reject their infants. And I said, oh no, 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 no. I'm seeing my baby. I'm not going to reject my baby. I'm seeing my baby. That was the first step we had to get over. Is for the doctors and nurses to realize that I was going to see my baby after my baby was born. Well, after Taylor was born, you could her her head was like a half a centimeter larger than what it was supposed to be. And had they not found it on my sonogram, they wouldn't have found it for months what was wrong with her. So that was a miracle right there. So she looked perfectly normal. She looked fine. And they said, well, we're not going to tie your tubes or do anything because if something happens to her, you may want to have another child. Not that we're saying one child can replace another child, but you might want to have another child. So I didn't have anything done. And I could never take the birth control pill because it made me sick. And I gained weight and it was just bad. But I told James, I said, for 2 years, I will take the pill. I will do it. Knowing I would gain weight and be sick, I did it. Then we realized that Taylor was going to be okay and that we didn't want any more children. Yeah, we didn't know Taylor could have babies because of her shunt. But so when it got time to come to decide how we were not going to have any more children, we started talking about it. And I said, well, I went through the process of having the baby. I think you need to do something. Well, his eyes got about this big around. It was like, what are you talking about? I said, well, it's going to be a lot easier on you than it would be on me because it would take me 6 weeks to get over the having my tubes or a hysterectomy or whatever. So I said, let me just lay it out to you, big boy. I said, either you have that done or you occupy one bedroom and I occupy the other bedroom. Now that's your choices. knowing that that wasn't going to happen, but I had to tell him. So he decides that he's going to go in and get this procedure done to keep us from having any more children. And of course he does, and everything goes fine. He had it done on a Friday. He was back at work on a Monday. I would never been able to do that if I would have had surgery. Never. And but we did. I had a cousin. Her husband had that done, and he and my cousin were really good friends. And he talked to him about it. But anyway, we had mentioned that to Brent, Taylor's husband, about him doing that when they decided to stop having children. You should have seen my son-in-law's reaction when we brought that up. It was like, oh no, 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 no. They are not, no, they're not doing that. Well, come to find out, when I was in my 30s, 32, I had to have a complete hysterectomy because I had endometriosis. Okay. So now James and I, neither one, it was just like, we're both duds. You know what I'm saying? We're both just like, neither one of us can produce children. Uh, yeah, in my early 30s, I had to have a hysterectomy because of medical reasons. Yeah. And James said, if I would have known that, I would have waited. And you could have just had the hysterectomy. I was like, no, you needed to be cut too because you needed to have a little pain. I mean, a man needs to feel some sort of pain when their wife's pregnant. I mean, come on now. And believe me, it does not harm the man in any way. The only thing he couldn't do, he couldn't lift heavy tools for like 2 weeks. You know, because the job he has, he's a blue collar worker. And so he would have to pick up tools and all that. He couldn't do that for 2 weeks. Okay. Wow. 2 weeks. He suffered 2 weeks where I would have suffered for 6 weeks. Plus, I had the children, you know. Come on now. You can do something. Yeah, he didn't think it was too funny, Nikki, when I said that he was going to sleep in the other room. He was like, I better listen to this because I don't know if I want that or not. I got my tubes tied after my second baby. I had the baby on the 16th, got my tubes tied on the 17th, and went home with the 18th. No, you was not playing, Anitra. You meant business. Hey, 17, how are you? How are you? Welcome in. Oh my goodness. There's my brother, the handicapped traveler. How are you doing? I hope everything's well. He said, sorry, I'm not getting clipped. I had kidney stones when my wife was in labor, pretty painful. Oh, y'all, kidney stones. Oh my gosh. It's like a man giving labor. I mean, that's the closest I think men come to giving labor is having a kidney stone. When James had his kidney stone and he passed it, I am telling you, I don't know how he did, but he brought it to me in his hand where he had passed it, and it looked like a little BB. I mean, it was. I said, "Did you pass out? Did you fall out on the floor?" But they were fixing to have to go in and do surgery on him to get him to pass his kidney stone, and he just passed it. But he said, I almost fell out. He said it was, but once he passed it, it's like labor. Once you give birth to the baby, it's like, okay, it's over with. All the pain's gone. And that's the way it is with a kidney stone. But his kidney stones were made up of uric acid. You know, some people's are calcium, other people's are different things. But he had gout before he had the gastric bypass surgery. He had gout, but he doesn't have gout. Um, So glad to have you, 710. Saw mom today. She got communion and a Oh, I'm so glad you got to see her. My oldest was 9 pounds, 10 ounces. I didn't think I'd ever walk it. Nikki, 9 pounds and 10 ounces. Oh my gosh. My babies were only 7. Matt was 7 pounds, 1.5 ounces. Taylor was 7 pounds, 11 ounces. I didn't have big babies. I did not have big babies. Bless your heart, Nikki. A 9 pound. Oh my gosh. That's what I'm saying, Anitra. And to be honest, back then breastfeeding wasn't the thing when I was having babies. And we didn't do all that. Now I'm sure there's some women that breastfed. My children would have starved to death had I breastfed them because it just wasn't happening. Um, when it come to that, all that didn't turn out well at all. So we had to do formula. But my daughter was going to try to breastfeed, and Haley tried to breastfeed Berkeley, and Taylor tried to breastfeed Lincoln. Did not work out well. I was blessed. My 2 babies were 6, 7, and 7, 8. Did still get stitches with that one. Oh, I could tell y'all a horror story about Matt being born, but I'm not going to go there. I was so naive when it come to having babies because Matt was my first one. I was so naive. I look back now and think, how could I have been so naive about having a baby? But I was just like, first of all, I did not know. Close your ears, men. I did not know that you could take so many baths, that you could keep yourself so clean that you would get an infection from being too clean. I did not know that. I did not know that. Okay? I did not know that. There'd be no reason why I would know it. And my son was 6 pounds and 15 ounces. They say that you take your weight, like I was 7 pounds and 11 ounces, I think, or 10 ounces, and James was 6 pounds and 6 ounces. You add those 2 weights together and divide it by 2, and that's what your child's supposed to weigh when you have a child. So going by that, I knew I wasn't going to have a large baby. But you know how they tell you all these things that's going to happen when you have a baby. And y'all, I'm not even going to try to guess what Matt and Haley are having because I just knew that Taylor was having a girl when she was pregnant with Lincoln. I just knew it was a girl. I just knew it was. And then when they popped that little thing on the reveal and it was a boy, which I was fine with. I mean, it didn't matter to me if it was a boy or a girl. I was going to be happy with whatever it was. And it was a boy. But in my heart of hearts, I thought she was having a girl. Well, I was broke down, not because I wanted a girl, but because I actually had convinced myself that she was having a girl. And even after she popped the little thing on the reveal, the little firecracker thing or whatever it is, I still was like, no, that's wrong. They got it wrong. She's having a girl. Believe me, Lincoln is not a girl. He's all boy. So I don't even think I'm going to be guessing with Matt and Haley's. Well, after I had Colin, he was 8'12". That felt like a breeze. I bet it did, Nikki. No wonder they told you wasn't going to have any more after your first one. 9 pounds. That is if you had him. And obviously you did have him. And I tried to tell Taylor, her water broke. And when she got to the hospital that night, they said if she would have pushed, she could have had Lincoln. Okay, that's just, she was almost at 9 centimeters. But because she had signed a piece of paper saying that she was supposed to have a section, they had to prep her real fast and get her in there to do a section. Well, when they went to grab Lincoln, they had to pull him up from this way because he was down there ready to come out. And they said, you could have had him. But see, she had never had a child before. And with her condition, they didn't want a lot of pressure on her brain since she had the shunt. They didn't want her to linger 12 and 14 hours in labor. And she had no idea she's going to be able to have babies like her mama. And they said if she would have pushed real hard, she would have had Lincoln with nothing. But they ended up doing a section, and he's fine. Well, I got ripped off. I was only 5 pounds 5 ounces. That don't math out. Were you premature, Nikki? Were you premature? That may be the reason. Lori, you were 7'11"? Now, if you were born premature or something like that, that messes everything up. Hey, Michelle, how are you, sister? Welcome in. 5 pounds. I cannot even imagine a 5 pound baby. Oh, Nikki, you had to be little. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. You think it's a boy, Michelle? Like I said, I don't even want to say. I didn't have a section, but I'll tell you, I was begging for one about 14 hours in. Oh, I cannot even. No, no. I hear the stories about women staying in labor 12 to 14 hours. I cannot even imagine how tired you are. Cannot even imagine. When I went in to have Matt, the nurse was like, see, Matt was the first grandbaby on both sides, James's side and my side. The nurse come out there, you're going to have to tell your family to calm down. You're going to have to tell them to calm down because this is going to be at least 12 hours if this is your first baby. Now, this is what this nurse was telling me. I looked her right in her face and I said, no, ma'am, I'm not going to be here 12 hours. Because back then they had the delivery room and then you stayed in another room. You didn't do it all in one room when I had Matt in 1990. You was in one room, then they wheeled you to the delivery room, then you went back. It was all that. And she said, well, the lady that's next door to you, she's been here 17 hours and she hasn't had her baby yet. That's what she told me. I said, I don't know about her, but I'm not going to be here 17 hours. It ain't happening. So when they were wheeling me out of the delivery room, I had Matt, like, you know how they hand you your bag. I had Matt here. And I looked right at her and I said, I told you I wasn't going to be here 17 hours. And she said, yes, ma'am, you did. You told me you wasn't going to be here. I said, I knew I wasn't going to be there 17 hours. That wasn't happening. I can't even imagine staying in labor 17 hours. People would not like me if I stayed in labor 17 hours. I would not be fun to be around. No. I would not be fun. No. Oh, you were 3 weeks early. So you probably were going to weigh around almost 7 pounds because babies put on a lot of weight the last month. Are you an only child, Nikki? Are you an only child? Did Purple come in? Did I miss Purple? Hey, Purple, how are you? Welcome in. There's a pic of my dad holding me in the. I can imagine, Nikki, if you weighed 5 pounds and 5 ounces, Lord. Are you an only child? I don't know if you heard me ask that. Wildflower, welcome in. How are you? I'm so glad y'all dropped by to see me. My friend's grandson was just born 2 pounds. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I cannot even imagine. That's so fragile. Purple, yours was 36 hours? No, no. That doctor would not like me. The nurses would not like me. My husband would not like me. My family would probably leave and come back 2 months later. I would not be a happy camper if I stayed in labor for 36 hours. It would not be pretty. It was exhausting. I was falling asleep between contractions and they would have to wake me up to put. Oh, Nikki, my goodness. Angie said, "No, ma'am, not today, Satan." I told that lady, I said, "I'm not going to be here that long. I'm just not." And James was so glad because he had seen me at my worst. And he knew that I didn't need to be there 12 to 17 hours because what happened was my water broke at a friend of my cousin's house. James and her husband had been deer hunting. They walk in, my water had broke. I wanted to go get something to eat. I wasn't hurting labor or nothing because my doctor told me, he said, "Don't come to the hospital till your pains are 2 or 3 minutes apart." Well, I wasn't hurting. So Ann, my cousin, said, "Angie, you need to call your doctor. This is not good. You don't need to go get something to eat. You need to go on to the hospital." And my hospital was like 30 minutes away from where I live. I was like, "No, I'm good." Now, this is how crazy I was with my first pregnancy. She finally convinced me after James came in his camouflage. He didn't even have time to go home and change clothes to call the doctor. So they get Dr. Price on the phone. And he's like, "Hello?" I said, "Dr. Price, this is Angie Smith. I think my water broke." And he said, "Well, was it more than a teaspoonful of water?" I said, "Oh, yes. It was like a cup." He goes, "Listen to what I'm telling you. Come to the hospital." And this is me at 23 or 24 when I had Matt. I said, "Oh, no, I'm not hurting. I'll come when I start hurting." He says, "No, ma'am. Listen to what I'm telling you. Come to the hospital now." And I'm still saying, "No, you told me not to come to the hospital till my pains got 2 to 3 minutes apart, and I'm not even hurt." Finally, he says, "Miss Smith, please get your husband to drive you to the hospital. Your water has broken and you need to come." I said, "Okay, well, if you want me to come to the hospital, I guess I'm going." So Ann has got this relief look all over her face like, "Oh, thank goodness." Well, we get in the car. This is 8 o'clock at night. I'm still not hurt. We get all the way to the hospital. I'm still not hurt. The lady takes me back to the room, takes this little tape, puts it to my leg to see if my water really broke. She said, "Yeah, your water's broken." It's like, okay. Still hadn't hurt. Hadn't hurt at all. They checked me. I'm dilated 5. 5. So they can give me the epidural at that point at 5. Still ain't hurt. They actually got the epidural in me just in time because I went from 5 to 10 centimeters in 15 minutes. So the nurse comes in there and she says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just going to have this baby. I'm pushing." She's like, "No, no, 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 don't push." Now, if you're a woman that's ever had a baby and you have that instinct to push and they're telling you not to, that ain't happening because you're going to push. Your body's just telling you to do that. So she runs and gets Dr. Price up because he's sound asleep in the doctor's whatever it is. She wakes him up. He can't believe that I'm fixing to have this baby within 15 minutes after the epidural. He's telling the nurse, "There's no way. There's no way she's went from 5 to 10 in 15 minutes." Yeah, there was a way. I did. Well, he comes in there. He's like, "Oh my gosh, we got to get her to the delivery room or we're fixing to have a baby right here." So they wheeled me on into the delivery room and I have Matt. And we didn't find out if Matt was going to be a boy or a girl because I wanted a boy so bad that I didn't want to know. So when he delivered Matt, he said, "Oh my goodness, it's a big old boy." And I just laid my head back on the table and said, "Oh, thank goodness I don't have to do this again." And James looked at me because I had told James if we have a boy, I'm not having any more because he can carry your name on and, I'm good with one child. So James, being the man that he is, he looks over at me and says, "You'll change your mind." I'm like, That's nothing you say to a woman that's just give birth to a baby about having her second baby. That's just no. You don't need to do that. Hey, Casey, how are you? Welcome in. I was 7 hours with the first one and 4 hours with the second baby. That's not bad. 4 hours with the second one. Now seven's kind of tipping it a little bit. I went into labor at 8 a.m. and my son was born the same day at 1:18 that afternoon. He was 3 weeks early. Oh, mine were not early. Actually, I think Taylor was late. I think she was supposed to be born in May, but they kept stopping me from having her. They stopped my labor twice. And I think that's why she has hydrocephalus, because there's no medical reason why she has it. They can't figure out why she has it. I say she stayed in the birth canal too long because I was dilated almost 5 centimeters for a month and they wouldn't let me have her. I was only in labor between 2 and 3 hours with my first baby. Oh, you are an only child. Okay, got you. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I was just curious. A lot of times, children that are only children don't want to have just one child. They want to have more than one child. I know I find that more frequent than not. Either they don't want to have any or they want to have more than one if they can. Uh, I was alone in California. Oh, I can't imagine. Now I know we women could tell some stories about having about birthing babies. I know we can. But I'm telling y'all, I look back now and I think, bless Matt's heart. He was our trial baby, is what we call him. Because we didn't know anything about having babies. When I was growing up, I did not babysit as a teenager. I did not hang around little bitty kids. I did not know anything about babies when I had Matt. Uh Honestly, I didn't think I'd ever have children because I had told James I didn't want to have children. Uh I didn't want a child. I didn't know if I would be very maternal because my mother's not. And I didn't want a child to not have a maternal parent, you know. Well, James talked me into getting pregnant, and I don't. That was the best thing that ever, and to have the second one was even better. But I am maternal. But I knew James would be maternal. I knew that he would be a good parent, even if I couldn't be maternal. You know, some women aren't. They just don't have it. They just do not have it. Nikki said, I always wished I had a sibling growing up. I hear you, Nikki. That's what I was telling my daughter. A lot of only children hate being the only child when they get older. Yeah, I've heard that a lot. That's what James kept telling me about Matt. Oh, you don't want him to be an only child. We gotta have another baby because I don't want him to be an only child. I'm like, I'm good with him being an only child. I mean, I don't know. And it wasn't that I had a bad time with my pregnancy. It wasn't that. It was just I really didn't know what type of parent I was going to be. And I wasn't sure. But I'm so glad that I chose to have children because I would have been just I don't know where I'd be without my children. They are just my heart, my blessing, my uh I just love them. I don't know what I would do. And now to have grandchildren to boot. Oh my gosh, it's wonderful. Just wait, Nikki, when your son gets a little older, finds the love of his life and gets married and has baby and you have your first grandbaby. I hope I'm around, Nikki. I hope I'm around to see it because you are just going to lose it. It's going to be wonderful. You are going to be a great whatever they're going to call you. I don't know. But I am so glad y'all dropped by today and to visit. I'm so glad to see you all in here. Y'all, Anitra has auctions on her channel. She also has jewelry, and she opens jars of jewelry and boxes and stuff like that on her channel. Y'all need to go over and become a part of I Spy Queen's channel and frequent her. Y'all need to do that. At 7 months, I was full term with our sons and daughters. With our first one was in labor for 20. No, no. I know, Nikki. I hope I'm around to see it because now that I know the joy of having a grandbaby, I wish that on everybody. I just wish it on everybody. I just say, oh, okay, I hope you have grandbabies one day. I hope you have grandbabies one day. But that's the way I was with my children. My children were my entire life until I had grandchildren. But I warned them. I said, look, I want y'all to know, like every Christmas, I would tell them, okay, y'all got this for Christmas, but when y'all start having babies, y'all go back on the shelf and the grandbabies get all this stuff now. I want y'all to know y'all gonna be second place. Y'all not gonna be first place. And it wasn't like I didn't warn them. I warned them. I said, look, I love y'all, but my grandbabies are gonna come first. You know, getting off the grandbabies, and I'm gonna tell y'all, I hope when James and I go, I have a great kid is a different game changer. You you be ready to fight the kids over the grandbabies. Yes, you are so right. You are so right, Anitra. Look, when they came for Easter, Berkeley was so excited about being here. Well, they couldn't get her calmed down. Well, Matt was scolding her a little bit and was telling her to calm down. He had to take her back to the back room and talk to her. Well, she's screaming like he's doing something to her, and he wasn't doing anything to her but trying to get her to calm down. Well, she wanted to be up front with us because she was excited to be here at Gigi and Pop's. I started crying. I was in the kitchen. I told James, I said, I don't know how much more of this I can take. I cannot listen to her cry back there in the bedroom. And don't get me wrong, there was nothing wrong with her. She just wanted to come up where we were, but Matt was trying to calm her down, and that's her daddy. I wanted to go back there so bad and say, Matt, leave her alone and just give her here. Give her to Gigi and I will handle her. Well, I knew I couldn't do that. He's the daddy. I couldn't wheel back there and just interrupt his session with his daughter. I mean, I could have, but I mean, I didn't want to do that. But I was crying. I was in the kitchen crying. I was telling James, I was like, I don't think I can listen to this much longer. He's going to have to stop. She's going to have to stop crying. I can't take it. I mean, that's just by Berkeley being upset because she couldn't come up to the front where we were. And we kept telling Matt, she's just excited. She's just excited. Leave her alone. But it was bad. My first grandbaby just turned 12 years old. Poor baby looks just like her nana. Oh my goodness. I love my grandma, though, telling the grandkids not ready to be a great grandpa yet. Yeah, you are. You ready? Yes, Nikki. Sometimes you have to unsubscribe and resubscribe and press all notifications all over again. You're welcome, Anitra. Wait till you start having the great grandbabies. Oh, I can't even imagine, Purple. I don't need no more grandsons. Don't get me wrong. We love all of our grandsons. We have 25. Oh my goodness, you have 25 grandsons? How is that even possible? Because the man determines the sex. So that is just crazy. 25 grandsons and one on the way. Oh, if y'all ever have a female, she is going to be it. That's so true. My papa used to introduce my mom and me. He said, "This is my daughter, Vivian, but this is my grandbaby, Nikki. She's my pride and joy." I love the name Vivian. I love that name. We're trying to figure out a middle name for Matt and Haley. They got Colson Lane for a boy, Colson Lane, and for a little girl they got Olivia, but they don't have a middle name for Olivia. But they want to call her Livy instead of Olivia. They want to call her Livy if it's another little girl. So I don't know yet. That's always cracked me up. May what? Purple. What part of May? Congratulations. May the 10th. Oh wow. Mine's May 17th. No step when it comes to grandbabies. Oh, those are great names. Yeah. Yeah, we have written down Olivia Kate, Olivia Marie, Olivia Grace, Olivia. I mean, we just wrote down a whole list for Haley to go over. So I don't know what they'll choose. My middle name is Grace, which I doubt. I don't know what Haley's mother's middle name is, but Haley's middle name is Paige, and I like Olivia Page, but Haley does not like Paige. She does not like her middle name at all, but I like Paige. And I like the fact they're going to call her Livy. I like that. May 10th is a good day for birthdays. My first grandbaby is May the 10th. Oh, wow. Colin turned 13 in December. Oh, he's a teenager. We have 3 sons. One son has 16 sons. Our baby son has 8, going to have 9. Oh, wow. Wow. Well, my grandmother's brother, he wanted a daughter. Okay, so they had 4 boys. So they were going to try one more time to have a little girl. Well, and I'm talking about back then, they didn't do sonograms, they didn't do anything. She got pregnant with twins. The wife did. And he said, "Oh my goodness, I have double the chance of having a girl." And then they wasn't identical, they were fraternal. Remember, we have fraternal twins in our family, not identical. I want you to know he had 2 more boys. He ended up having 6 boys. And after that, she said, "I'm not having any more." I told my grandmother, I said, "He don't have a girl in him. He just didn't have a girl in him." I mean, some people don't have a girl in them. Some people don't have a boy in them. Wait a minute. Aurora May. Oh, Aurora. I like that. Savannah is going on May 17th. I say she's getting on 7, but acting like 30. Is her birthday the same day as mine? Lori, I think it is. So when James and I go to the coast for our anniversary and my birthday, I would love to film at the coast or even go live at the coast. But you can't go live in the casino without permission. You have to have their permission to film in there where you're gambling and everything. But I would like to film the hotel where we're staying and when we ride up and down on the beach and stuff like that when we go. But here's the thing. Every year when we go, we don't even leave the hotel. For 3 days, we stay in this hotel doing nothing but it's everything we need in this hotel. Restaurants, entertainment places to go get entertained, the slot machines and the card tables. And you don't even have to leave the casino, the hotel to go anywhere. So most of the time, we don't even leave unless we go casino hopping. Because they're all on the strip. You can just hit one right after the other. And I'm not going to do that because I only take so much money. And if I win a lot of money, I'm the type of person that goes, okay, let me stick this back. Let me stick this back. I'm not going to spend this because I'm. But our daughter can't have none at all. And we lost our son at birth. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, that's my anniversary. That's my wedding anniversary, May 16th. Yep. I don't know what I was thinking. I was in love back in 1987 because Mother's Day's in May, my anniversary's in May, my birthday's in May. I was all twisted up in love, and it didn't matter to me what day it was. Oh, I want to get married. I want to get married. 37 years later, I'm thinking, Lord, I didn't know I was going to have to go through all this with this man. I mean, I look now and think I have spent 37, actually 38 years with James because we dated a year before we got married. So I have been with him 38 years. That's longer than I've done anything except be alive. I have not done anything for 38 years except live. I have been with this man. He has been in my life 38 years. You know, marriage doesn't last that long nowadays. There's Dawn. Y'all got to go and watch some of Dawn's lives besides her auctions. She sits out on her back deck. Dawn, I was watching, but I had Lincoln, so I couldn't come into the chat. And she starts talking about, oh, it is a beautiful scene. She and her husband just bought their first home, and the scenery is just amazing. And she sits back there on her deck and she talks. You've got to go over there and watch her. Which she and the ladies are going to have an auction this afternoon. I think it's going to be 7 Eastern, 6 Central, I think. But anyway, Dawn's got some good content. I have to pick at Dawn. Every time I go into her channel, I always pick at her. I think if Dawn and I live closer together, we would probably have spent a little time behind bars because we would probably talk each other into doing things that we normally wouldn't do if we wasn't with each other. You know, you ever have one of those friends that you wouldn't do it by yourself, but if you got with that friend, sort of like Nikki and Ella, you know, separately they probably won't bring much harm, but you put them together and go somewhere, it probably would be like total. It would be fun to them. It'd be awesome for me and Dawn to get together, but we would stir up some turmoil somewhere. Which they wouldn't keep me at the jail because I'm high maintenance. I'm in a wheelchair, and the medication that I have to have and the care that I need, they would say, we're not keeping her. We're not keeping the blonde hair, blue eyed one. She can go. I don't know if they would keep Dawn or not, but James always keeps like $300 in his wallet in case I get picked up or something, in case I start, or, I'd start acting crazy out in public. He can come bail me out. He always does that. We joke about that all the time. You got your $300 to bail me out? We have 2 sons that are Christmas babies, 2 in July 9th, and all are 2 years apart. Oh, wow. 23 years for me and Ray on July the 14th. Oh, you're welcome, Dawn. Dawn. Here in the South, we say Dawn. In the North, they say Dawn. Okay? I don't know how Dawn feels about that, but I have a cousin named Dawn, and we don't call her Dawn. Dawn? Yeah. We say Dawn here in the South. Kathy has put up with me for 29 years of marriage in June. She is a saint being able to do that. Agreed. I agree. She is a saint. I agree. Dawn's like, we would. Because Dawn and we've talked over her auctions before, and we have already determined that it probably would not be a good thing for us to get together and spend time and go out, and we'd probably get picked up. We'd be on a YouTube video where they would, the law would be called and we would be picked up somewhere for having a good time. I wouldn't say disturbing the peace. I would just say having a good time. Now, we wouldn't be stealing anything or doing anything like that. It would just be loud from having a good time. We'd probably be in a karaoke bar somewhere, karaokeing and acting silly. That's probably what we would do. Yeah, I could just see Nikki and Ella out on the town. That would make a good YouTube video if Nikki and Ella could get together and go out and spend time together out on the town. That would be a good YouTube video. Bye, Lavita. Love you. Thank you for dropping by. I'm going to try. I make my rounds, Michelle. I make my rounds. Like I said, I don't have Lincoln today, so I can pay more attention. Now, on Mondays and Tuesdays, just because I don't stay in there or I don't comment a lot on these auctions, don't mean that I'm not there. It's just he has to have my undivided attention. I'm listening. I'm listening to all the auctions going on, but I'm having to tend to him. And boy, does he want to eat every 4 hours on the money. He wants to eat every 4 hours, and you got to feed him or he just loses his head. That boy loves to eat. Yeah, that would be us. We'd probably get 2 million hits on that video, Dawn, of us acting crazy. Woman in wheelchair with dark-haired woman coming to a karaoke bar, and they just turned to us up there on the stage singing karaoke. And us slapping at each other because I want one song and you want another song, and us just slapping. I know, got to feed that baby. Oh, he's got an appetite. Oh, y'all should see him. He is so... You know how little babies get that little baby fat and they get little creases in their leg and it's so cute and everything? That's the stage where he is now. And he's almost 4 months old, and he's reaching up to grab his little toys when you put him in a little seat, and he's talking and oohing and cooing and all that. We read to him and talk to him. I can't wait till Berkeley gets here. She loves, and she's named him. Oh, that she tells us we call him Lincoln Log. There's our Lincoln Log. And she says, no, that's baby Lincoln. She will not let us call him Lincoln Log. No, Gigi, that's baby Lincoln. It's not Lincoln Log. Hey, David, how are you? Welcome in. I am so glad y'all decided to come by and see me today. Don't forget to give me one of these. One of these. My neighborhood chat video is going to be coming out. I'm going to tape it later on this afternoon after James goes to work. I can get a lot more done when he is not here. I don't know if Dawn feels that same way about Bob. When he goes to drive the truck, when James is here, he just disrupts my routine, just the worst in the world. But when he's gone, I can get things done. So when he leaves for work tonight, I'll be able to do my video. I don't know what I'm going to do when he retires. He's supposed to retire and he's going to be 58 in July, in 2 years. When he's 60, he's supposed to retire. He'll have 30 years where he works. He'll have 30 years. I don't know what I'm going to do with him. I do not know. Oh, I just keep saying to myself, Lord, let him stay healthy. Let him stay healthy so he can get outside, because he loves to get out and do things in the yard, cut grass, cut wood, fish, hunt. He loves garden. He loves the outside. And I'm saying, Lord, please let him stay healthy. Because if he got down and sick and I'm the way I am, we would probably just all the time. I'm glad you made it too, Lori. It's so good to see you. You know, and I think to myself, what do older people that's been married as long as James and I have, what do we have to argue about? You know, because James and I, we don't argue that much. It's just like he'll say something that I don't like, and I just wheel off in my wheelchair like this man's a lunatic, and I'm more of a lunatic because I married him. I chose him. I chose him. I can't blame anybody for him acting the way he does. I chose him. So what does that say about me? But we don't even disagree hardly anymore. Something that happened and something that I just like, whatever. But one thing that he does that does run up the back of my head and slap me about right here, runs up the back of my neck and slaps me in the back of my head that he does. Um, yeah, Bob will start drilling something or hammering something or run something noisy, and I'm like, where's my piece? Yes. Well, James wants to do this. Okay, he's worked all night. He's been up all night. He comes in, he's wanting to be, because he's trying to stay awake because he's been up all night. When I wish he would just walk through the door, hey, baby, how are you? Head on down to the bedroom because I'm usually up and get in the bed and go to sleep. That's what I would do if I worked nights. You wouldn't have to tell me but one time. And Angie would be back in the bedroom asleep. I would not be fighting sleep. But James is 50-something years old and he still fights sleep like a little child. But he comes in and he's like, what do you want for breakfast? What do you, and I don't, breakfast is the furthest thing from my mind. I am hurting so bad when I wake up in the mornings. I don't want anybody to say anything to me. Well, he don't understand that I want to be quiet and I don't want him to speak to me when he comes in. So now, over all these years, I've learned to just tune him out, and I pray a lot and say, Lord, just let me get past this till he decides he's going to go get in the bed. What do you want to eat? Do you want this? Do you want that? And I don't want to make a decision early in the morning when I'm hurting and in pain. I don't want to make a decision. No, I can get my own breakfast. You just do what you're going to do and you go back there and lay down and go to sleep. But let me tell you something. I don't know if y'all's men do it, but James will fight sleep like a little child. He will fight sleep. And I'm saying to myself, why are you fighting sleep? Sleep is good. But he'll fight sleep. And my children see it. They're like, Mom, why does Dad get in the recliner and go to sleep? Why don't he go back there and get in the bed? I said, because he's like a little old woman that's afraid he's going to miss something. If he goes back there and gets in the bed, something up here is going to happen, and he's not going to be able to see it or be a part of it. So he don't want to go back there and get in the bed because he's afraid he's going to miss something. Well, you don't have to tell me twice. When I get tired, nobody has to tell me. I go right back there and get in the bed. I don't care who's here. Anybody famous could be here, and I'm going right back there to get in my bed. I am not caring. Bye, Dan. Have a good evening. All right, guys. It's time for me to end this live. I've enjoyed it. Goodness, Mr. Piggy can go to sleep in 30 seconds and my brain will be swirling like a hurricane. I know. Not James. I mean, he is, I'm telling you. This man, I used to couldn't sleep. But since I've got this illness, it doesn't take me 2 seconds. I'm asleep. But when I was in the working world, I'm like you, Nikki. My brain would just, I couldn't turn it off. It would just go and go and go. I would think about, okay, tomorrow I got to wash clothes. I got to go to work. This is on my desk at work. I got to do this. I got to talk to this person. I got to pay this bill. The kids need this for school. I mean, I had a million things going on in my head. All right, guys. I love you all. There's nothing you can do about it. I'll see y'all all next time. Be watching for my video to come out, a weekly video. See y'all at the auctions.